everyone, welcome back. Today I don't have a whole lot to share with you guys, but I just thought I would share my mini book haul with you guys. I've been to the bookstore recently and I did find quite a few books, so I thought I would share them with you. I also have a few indie books that I got and a few books that I found at the little free libraries that I thought I would share with you guys. But first, I guess I'll go through the ones that I have bought first. And in the irony of this one, my two copies of Dreadful, as you may have seen in my last video, I bought one copy at Barnes & Noble, and then right after, like 2 days later, I got a copy in the Caffeine and Legends box. And so now I have two copies, but this one is from the Caffeine and Legends, and this one actually has a signed book plate with it, so that is very cool. And this copy is the one I got from Barnes & Noble, and this one actually has a very nice fancy detailed edges, and I actually managed to get this one half off. But this one just sounds like a really funny read. This is basically about a villain who doesn't know or remember being a villain, and the premises of the story is he basically just wakes up without his memories. He sees all this stuff from his past life around him, and he has no idea what any of it means. So basically he's trying to recollect his memories, figure out what the hell is happening. And I did read the first couple pages of it. Like, I like to read the first few pages of stories just to get a feel for the writing style and whether I'll click with it or not. And I think it just sounds hilarious. He basically goes about how he woke up with no eyebrows and no idea what is happening, and so it just sounds very funny. And I did see some reviews for it that people said it was very good, a good solid 4 out of 5 stars, so I am excited to read this one. And the next one I got is Wolfsong. This is a werewolf story. I do believe this is also a romance. The back isn't very descriptive, but it's basically about the character growing up. He leaves town, comes back, finds this other character, and basically it says they can't ignore their feelings for each other anymore, or something along the lines of that. So I'm pretty excited to read this. I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about it, but I've seen it around. Like, I've seen it at Walmart, I've seen it like online, and it just looks really good, and the art style on the cover is really captivating me. This one's really nice. It's like all holographic, and it's got these nice I'm not sure what they call the border trimmings on these. I think they call them spray edges. But this one I've been wanting to read it. It was only $20, and with sprayed edges looked really nice, so I just decided to pick it up. I have high hopes from it. I know this author has also done like 2 other series, and I'm hoping this is good because their other series looked really good too, and I've been wanting to pick those up and read them as well. I'm trying to remember. I think it lists in here what the other series were. The Extraordinary series and the Green Creek series. And then she's got a few standalones. I said she, but I don't think the author's a girl. Yeah. I don't know why I said she. The author's a guy. Or I think he identifies a guy. I'm not sure. It doesn't say. But I'm looking forward to reading this. And the next one I got is When the Moon Hatched. This one I've heard a few people talk about. I did not realize it was so chunky when I bought it. I went to go pick it up and suddenly it was like a giant brick. And I swear to God, everyone else's copies were not this thick. And I've seen it advertised online and it is not this thick. But I'm pretty sure this is only the first volume. I don't think it's an omnibus or anything. But this one looked really good. This is kind of, how would you say that? Like based around, well, the names at least are Gaelic sounding, but it's basically about a thief and she gets imprisoned, and there's apparently a lot of like political intrigue in this. So I'm not quite sure. Usually, like politic heavy books are very hit and miss. I find that they're not really done very well, but I am excited to read this one. I have heard good things about it, and I also appreciate this book because when I was flipping through it, let's see if I can find the page, it actually has a pronunciation guide, so you can actually pronounce the names. I It's like one of those small non-consequential things, but like in my head I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, because like a lot of fantasy books will base their names and stuff off Gaelic names, or they'll be like Gaelic inspired, and you just never know how to pronounce them, and so you sound stupid pronouncing them, and then you like, they don't have like audiobooks or anything, so you just have to do the best you can with it. I don't know. I just thought that was just like a nice little addition in it. The next one I got is Their Mother, or The Familiar. I almost said The Mother, and I don't know why. Maybe because I was thinking in my head, everybody and their mother has been hauling this one. And I did see this advertised on Barnes and Nobles when it was up for pre-order. And then I saw a lot of people hauling it, but I haven't seen anyone really talking about it yet. But yeah, I just saw this on display and I was like, oh yeah, that one looked really good, and I've been wanting to read it too. This one is more of a like historical fiction kind of piece. It's set in, oh, when was it? It didn't say specifically, but it's around when the Inquisition was. Basically, the one of the characters is Jewish and they're trying to hide from the Inquisition. They're afraid they will come after them, and they find help from an immortal familiar, as the description puts it. So that sounded really interesting to me. And this copy is also a very nice one with like the sprayed edges. And I'm not very much into historical fantasy kind of pieces, but I did read the first couple pages and I think I'm going to like this one. I just like the writing style and the kind of fantasy aspect to it, so we'll see. We'll see. I hope I like it. Um, the next one I got was Where the Dark Stands Still. This one is a YA novel, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just bought it for the cover art. The story of this one is basically the main character here. She has to go and get this special flower that's hard to find, and someone ends up offering one to her and making a deal for it. But she finds out that all of her predecessors and everyone else who has made this deal kind of vanish and disappear, and random terrible things kind of happen to them. So that's kind of the mystery intrigue of this storyline. And so that kind of sounds interesting. I kind of just liked it for this like cozy, woodsy vibe, and I hope I end up liking this one, because after kind of reading the synopsis for it, the story sounds kind of weird. Like I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This one I found at my local bookstore, and I am about halfway through this one so far. And this is Mr. Magic. This one is actually really interesting. I'm enjoying it so far. There are a few things in it that kind of make me go, like I feel like they're hinting at a romance in it, but it feels like kind of weird, and I hope it doesn't go that way. But this is basically about, how to describe it. It's basically about this cast of characters, that were on a kids show when they were around like 7 or 8, and it's kind of like what you would describe as like the Muppets or like Sesame Street kind of kids show. And there's a lot of mystery and intrigue around this show, and it ends abruptly, and one of the main characters gets taken away, and there's like this whole phenomenon around it. And the present day, where the story takes place after this show happens, it kind of just fades into obscurity. But then suddenly they wanted to do a reunion podcast where they get all the characters back together, they get the cast back together, and the main character, Val, has no memories of this kid's show. She finds out that her father lied to her and basically kept her hidden from her past and her memories. And so when they show up at her door to come get her, she's completely confused on who these people are. She doesn't remember them, doesn't recognize them. And then when she finds out she's been lied to, she's like, okay, let's go. We got to go do this thing. Because initially they're like, oh, you don't have to do the podcast. Obviously, if you don't remember it, you're not going to be any good. But then she's like, yes, I want to go, because now she has all these questions that need to be answered. And so it's really interesting. And there is like kind of a psychological aspect to it. Like nothing is as it seems. And there's way more like past intrigue to it. Like I don't want to spoil it, and I don't want to like give it away, because I feel like that would like defeat the whole purpose of reading the story. It's one of those build up intrigue kind of stories. So if you talk about it, it kind of ruins it, like you don't have the same like feel for it. But I so far recommend this one. I hope it ends on a good note. The ending always makes or breaks a book for me, but so far I'm enjoying it. So I have a couple indie zines I got off of Etsy. And this one is the Cat Magic Grimoire by Anne Rose Curiosities. And this is just a cute little guide. Talks about cats and magic and witchcraft and their history in Egypt and their associations with like the goddess Bast. It's just really cute. And then I got this, it's not necessarily a zine, but it's like an indie comic series called Dweety. This is a really cute, fast and light read. And this is if I remember correctly, this is based off of one of the author's cats. And this is basically about this cat who has passed away but is still determined to protect their owner even in the past life. And it is so cute. And like the author at the beginning says, like, anyone who has a pet passed away, this is for you. And it's just a cute little story. And this is by Megan Tosi, and you can find her on Etsy. And she also has her stuff printed at, hopefully that shows up, but that's dooneypress.com. And I highly recommend finding her and checking her out. I do believe she has an Instagram, but this is just such a cute series, and I love supporting indie authors. And last but not least is the stuff I found from the Little Small libraries. I had found 2 other books, but I'm not sure where I put them. But I don't think it's anything you guys would be interested in anyway. They were kind of just like pagan and elemental books. This one I found is Way of the Herbs. This one is a little out of date. It came out in the 90s, but I thought it'd be still interesting to read anyway. This is all about herbs, like what they're good for, how to cook them, how to dry them, like recipes you can put them in. And I thought it was really interesting and just like a little guide about them. And even if it's outdated, it's still a good starting point, and you can always look to see what's outdated information and what's new with it. And it's free, so you can't complain. The next one I found is the Night Circus, and I've heard good things about this one. It is an oldie, but everyone still recommends it. I've been wanting to read it for like a long time, but just never got around to it. So when I saw it, I decided to pick it up. Um, Basically, this is just basically about a circus, and I believe there's a romance in it. I don't remember exactly. I'm not The one thing I don't like about circus romances or just circus stories in general is that I don't feel like they're ever written right. I don't know why I feel that way. I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully, I like this one though. Everyone says it's good, and it's kind of funny because this person, I don't know if you can see it or not, but like if you look at the edges, they really like to fold the corners of their book. Let's hashtag normalize folding book corners. I think I love that, like just how used and worn this book is in general. Like people always want their books to look perfectly pristine and clean and neat looking, but I love a beat up book because you know it was loved, you know it was read, you know it went through multiple hands, and I just love that. It gives the book more character in my opinion. Um, And then I have these two magazines, which is Skipping Stones. Um, this one I didn't find in the little free library. This one was actually given to me by a lady at the library. So the library in my hometown had done a bunch of renovations, and I hadn't been into it in a really long time. So my mom's like, "Oh, we should go to the library so you can see all the renovations and how they changed it and everything." And they had like a little free book of cards out, sitting out. And there's a lady that's going through the stuff, and she told me to look through these and then recommended these and then told me that I should keep these and take these. And I was like, okay, well, if you insist, I will. And these are actually really cool. This is a great way to support your local artists, basically. These are made in Eugene, Oregon, and I guess they are quite spendy, um, but it's basically young authors and high schoolers and like college students, basically from all over the world, submitting and putting in their writing. And a lot of these are actually really good. They have like poetry, literature, some of their art and stuff. And this is a really good way to support young artists and young writers. And I thought that was so cool. And if you are interested in that, there's the address for their offices and everything right there. It is like a bit of a hippie magazine, but I thought that was so cool. And I'm kind of glad she gave them to me because I love supporting like the younger generation in their endeavors. I think it's really important to help support the younger generation when they have a dream for something. Like if they like writing or the arts, it's important to help give them a support system and a way for them to put their art out there into the world. With the way things are today, the arts aren't really prioritized or anything, and so it can be a little soul crushing for younger people to see themselves as artists or anything like that. You know, they don't see it as a way to make money or anything, but I think if we support them in that endeavor, then they can definitely grow up to be authors and artists, and I think that's just an important part of the community. Um, yeah, so that was just my small mini haul. This video went on longer than I kind of expected it to. I know I do ramble a bit, but yeah, I hope you guys like this haul. Let me know what you think of any of the books I got. If you've read any of them, if you've been interested in any of them, if you'd like to see any of them reviewed, let me know in the comments below. And I hope you all have a good night. Bye.